Are you Matthew Aldridge?
I'm the attorney of fact for Matthew Aldridge.
You are what?
The attorney of fact.
Attorney what?
Fact.
Attorney of fact. And what does that mean?
You know, right. There's authorization to do legal work.
Are you a licensed attorney?
No, I'm simply an attorney of fact.
Okay. And does that mean you have a power of attorney? What is your name? What is your name?
What's your name, okay? Guys, the court hearing today is completely out of control in the hot seat. One of the people named in the legal documents is Matthew Aldridge, but the man at the podium is denying that he is, instead playing the whole "I'm not playing a name" game, and he's actually referring to himself as the lawyer, which, just to be clear, isn't even a legitimate legal stance in this situation. Straight from the sovereign citizen playbook, in which they attempt to argue that courts have no power over them. The reality is that courts have jurisdiction over everyone within their borders. You cannot just declare yourself above the law and expect it to remain in effect. The judge, yes, has witnessed this act before, and isn't buying a second of it. He shuts this guy down with complete authority, and the way he wraps it all up is masterclass. The judge outsmarts him so smoothly that it's actually kind of satisfying to watch. Let's watch the video to see how this whole crazy situation unfolds. It's one you won't want to miss.
I don't have.
You don't have a name? Pardon?
I'm the attorney of fact for the respondent in the area.
Well, let me explain to you. Only an attorney at law can stand in court and represent a criminal defendant. And to do so otherwise violates the criminal law statutes of the state of Tennessee and could land someone who attempts to represent themselves as an attorney at law in serious trouble. I understand what you're saying. I understand you're saying an attorney in fact. And what I want you to understand is that if you have a power of attorney, then you need to demonstrate that power of attorney. Do you have a legal document called a power of attorney?
I do not at this time.
Okay. Then you don't have any authority to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge in this court. You have no legal authority, nor do you have any authority through a legal document to represent or to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge.
Why don't the court just let me file this document?
Show it to the bailiff and he'll show it to me. Apparently there's a copy here.
It was a little slow, so you missed this point, but the man is actually claiming to be an attorney, and he proved it by giving the judge a random piece of paper that stated a fictitious law that purports to authorize him to represent Matthew Aldridge. A brief reality check. Real lawyers are state licensed and must adhere to real legal procedures. You cannot simply print out a document at home and claim it as law. However, these sovereign citizen types enjoy this legal fantasy stuff because they believe it somehow exempts them from the laws that everyone else must abide by. They constantly talk about jurisdiction as if they can simply declare themselves above the law, spoiler alert. Courts cannot enforce actual laws, not made-up ones. And this judge is not going to waste time on this bullshit. Am I the only one who keeps seeing these instances? Or are these cases involving sovereign citizens becoming more frequent lately? Tell me in the comments what you think.
All right. Well, I find that Matthew Neil Aldridge has failed to appear personally in this court for the plea day on his case, which is set for trial tomorrow. And as a result, you have no standing, sir, under what I know what you're trying to do is to try to use the sovereign citizen approach to this situation. And I'm simply telling you that you do not have the right to represent Matthew Neil Aldridge. If you are, in fact, Matthew Neil Aldridge, then you need to say so and stop this nonsense, because what you're attempting to do has no legal effect. You cannot challenge the criminal law or the jurisdiction of this court by simply filing some legal mumbo-jumbo having to do with civil litigation. That has civil litigation in it. It is not a criminal case that you have cited. So it has no effect on this court regarding the criminal statutes of this court. This court is empowered under the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the state of Tennessee and by the duly elected citizens of Cheatham County to empower and enforce the laws of the state of Tennessee. And that is what I'm going to do regarding Matthew Lynn Aldridge. Mr. Aldridge is set for today to appear in court personally on what we call our last plea day before his trial date tomorrow.
Is that an article pre-trial?
What?
Would that be an article pre-trial? A trial by jury with jury?
It would be a trial by jury, certainly it would be. But I don't know who you are. And I don't think you have any authority if you are not Matthew Lynn Aldridge to appear before this court. And you are wasting valuable time to all of these other citizens who are here today. So when I'm talking, you stop talking. Now you will when I'm finished talking. You are wasting the court's time by doing this, and I'm just simply instructing you that if you are in fact Matthew Lynn Aldridge, then this is your last day to settle your case. The trial date is set for tomorrow, and unfortunately it will not go forward because of the fact that I have a conflict and I have to be in Stewart County on a civil matter. So we're going to assign a new trial date for Matthew Lynn Aldridge. But to Matthew Aldridge and the individual standing before me whose name must not be uttered.
The judge is handling the situation like a pro. He remains composed under pressure and shuts down this guy at every turn. The man hardly had a chance to argue that his entire attorney was a phony before the judge dissected everything in detail. It was clear that the judge either took this personally or simply had no tolerance for such antics. Perhaps he has dealt with sovereign citizens before because he was not having it. Then the guy began quoting his fictitious laws, and that's when things really got interesting. I couldn't help but laugh when the judge retaliated, telling him that he couldn't even speak his own name. It was obvious from the start that this judge wasn't going to waste any more time amusing this legal circus act. And to be honest, it just goes to show how useless these stunts are. They never work, and they never will. So then we will. Judges typically maintain a straight face, are very professional and are reserved, but this one definitely let a little humor slip through.
Then we will set a July 15th trial date for Mr. Aldridge. Whatever this document is that you have filed is in fact invalid because it does not cite any valid criminal statute, and therefore I'm denying whatever that might be in the way of a motion. The trial date will be July 15th. The last day for Mr. Aldridge to enter a plea or go to trial will be July the 8th. July the 8th. Now, we're going to give you a card. If you are in fact Matthew Aldridge and you're just playing games with the court regarding this nonsense that you filed, then you may get his card and you may go on about your business. If you are not Matthew Aldridge, then I would suggest to you, you relay to Mr. Aldridge that he must appear on July the 8th, or a bond revocation will take place, and his case will be will take place with him in jail, incarcerated on the 15th. That's the judgment of the court. You need to take your piece of paper and go on about your business.
As per the court's ruling, if you are not Matthew Aldridge, you should inform him that he needs to show up on July 8th, after which his bond will be revoked and his case will be set up. He will be imprisoned, incarcerated on July 15th. You should then take your piece of paper and carry on with your business. Simply put, sovereign citizens are people who think they can avoid the legal system by claiming they don't acknowledge the authority of the government. They enjoy arguing about common law and the Uniform Commercial Code, or UCCC, but it turns out that they have no idea how any of that actually operates. There is no loophole that allows you to simply decide that laws don't apply to you. Instead, straight courts operate under established federal, state, and local laws that have been in place for centuries and are supported by the Constitution. Nevertheless, these individuals continue to fill courtrooms with absurd arguments, wasting time and possibly resulting in a criminal record along the way. From a legal standpoint, their entire argument falls apart because of the straightforward idea that jurisdiction courts have legal authority over anyone within their region, regardless of the bizarre legal theory that is thrown at them. That concludes today's breakdown. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe. and let me know your thoughts on these sovereign citizen cases in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Judges have heard it all, and trust me when I say that trying to avoid taxes or beat a speeding ticket using this kind of pseudo-legal nonsense won't just fail, but they may even result in harsher penalties for wasting the court's time.